Okay, let me ask you something. Are you chasing success, really climbing that ladder, pushing hard, but still feel this, I don't know, this kind of inner hunger? Maybe you look around and realize, wow, all this professional achievement, it's cost you. Maybe in your relationships, your health, maybe just feeling like yourself. Is that kind of success really worth it? Worth that feeling of being disconnected? Welcome to Success Happiness. We're here to dig into the ideas, the real strategies that lead to more than just quick wins. We're talking about lasting fulfillment, meaningful lives.
And today, yeah, we're doing a book talk, really diving into a work that honestly shifted the whole conversation around self-improvement. It's Stephen Covey's The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People.
It really was groundbreaking when it came out, wasn't it? Not just another how-to guide. I felt like it was redefining what success even is. So, our mission today, let's try to pull out the core philosophy here, the real heart of these 7 habits, the stuff that helps you get past the quick fix motivation trap and build something, well, truly meaningful and lasting.
Right. And Covey starts right at the foundation. He points out this big split, almost an ethical divide in how people approach self-help. For maybe the last 100 years or so, a lot of the focus has been on what he calls the personality ethic.
Oh, yeah, that's the stuff you see everywhere now, right? The quick techniques, the communication hacks, how to seem charismatic, how to use power strategies. We've all heard it. Fake it till you make it. Or, pretend you care about someone's hobby just to get a deal done.
Exactly that. The personality ethic tries to fix deep, chronic problems of character, really, with what Covey calls social aspirin and Band-Aids. It just works on the surface. Attitude, behavior, assuming that if you act the part, that's enough.
But it's not, is it? Not long term. The really successful people, the ones with what Covey calls primary greatness, they operate from the other side of that divide, a character ethic.
That's focused inward on integrity, basic goodness, your motives, your fundamental strength.
But okay, here's a question then. Isn't it sometimes hard to tell the difference between someone who's genuinely got that character and someone who's just really, really good at the personality ethic stuff? Learned charm.
It can be, yeah, especially at first. But the difference,
Yeah.
it shows up over time because character is what builds trust. If people sense your character is flawed, if they feel you're being, insincere or manipulative,
Yeah.
then even the best techniques in the world just feel slimy. They feel self-serving. And that lack of trust, that's the killer for any long-term relationship. Business, family, friendships, anything.
Because you just can't build anything lasting without trust.
Right.
Covey quotes Emerson here, doesn't he? Something like, "What you are, shout so loudly."
In my ears that I cannot hear what you say. Yes. It's powerful. Your fundamental character, who you are, speaks louder than anything you actually say.
Okay, so character first. But before we even get to the habits themselves, there's this other huge idea, how we see the world.
Our paradigms. That's the word Covey uses. They're like our mental maps. Our assumptions, our frames of reference for everything.
And this is so key for making real change, isn't it? He uses that analogy if you're in Detroit, but you're using a map of Chicago. Well, it doesn't matter how positive your attitude is or how hard you try to navigate, you're just going to get more lost faster.
That's the insight, exactly. If you want real quantum change, you can't just tinker with your attitude or behavior, the leaves, as he calls it. You have to work on the map, the paradigm, the route.
That perception test drives this home so well. The picture where some people see a young woman, others see an old woman.
Right, and these are sincere people looking at the exact same lines on paper. But their past conditioning, their experiences, make them interpret the facts completely differently.
And they can both be right, based on their perception.
Exactly. That moment you realize that that you don't see the world as it is, but as you are. That's the start of a huge paradigm shift. It's the beginning of the journey inward, what Covey calls the private victory.
The inside-out approach. You have to win the battles within yourself first. Self-mastery has to come before you can really succeed in your relationships or your work, the public victories. Trying to fix things out there before fixing in here, it just doesn't work.
Which leads us straight into habit 1. Be proactive. This is really the bedrock of character. It's about understanding you have the freedom, the ability to choose your response to whatever happens to you.
He tells that incredible story of Viktor Frankl in the Nazi death camps, stripped of absolutely everything, physically controlled.
Yet Frankl realized they couldn't take away that one final freedom. The freedom to choose his internal response, his attitude, his perspective on his suffering, that space between stimulus and response.
That's profound. So reactive people are just driven by feelings, circumstances, the weather. If traffic's bad, their day is ruined.
Right, whereas proactive people, they're driven by their values, values they've consciously chosen. They, as Covey puts it, carry their own weather.
And practically, this shows up in where we focus our energy, right? The circle of concern versus the circle of influence.
Precisely. Reactive people pour energy into their circle of concern, all the things they can't control. Politics, other people's mistakes, the economy. And worrying about those things, it actually shrinks the area they can control, their influence.
But the proactive person,
They focus squarely on their circle of influence. What can I do? How can I respond? How can I prepare? And focusing there actually makes that circle grow, that active choice, that control. That's proactivity.
okay, so first, take responsibility, choose your response, be proactive. Then comes habit 2. Begin with the end in mind. This sounds like knowing where you're going.
Exactly. It's the mental creation of things. Before you build a house, you need blueprints. Before you start a journey, you need a destination. It's about leadership before management.
What's the difference there in his view?
Well, management is about efficiency. It asks, how well are we climbing this ladder? Are we doing things right?
Okay.
Leadership asks a much more fundamental question. Is the ladder leaning against the right wall? Are we doing the right things?
Wow. Yeah, it's scary how easy it is to get caught up climbing like mad, super efficiently, only to realize you're on the totally wrong building.
And the way to avoid that, the tool he gives, is that really powerful visualization exercise.
Yeah.
Imagine your own funeral, say 3 years from now.
Oof. Yeah, that one hits hard.
It does. But imagine the speaker's family, friends, colleagues, someone from your community. What do you genuinely want them to say about you? Not your job title, not how much money you made, but about your character, your contributions. What difference did you make?
Thinking about that, it forces you to figure out what really truly matters to you, your core values. It gives you a compass.
Exactly. Compass to guide every decision you make from now on so you're not just chasing empty victories.
So you've got your compass from habit 2. Now you need the clock.
Yeah.
Right. Habit 3. Put first things first. This is the doing part.
This is the second creation, the physical one. If habit 2 is leadership, habit 3 is personal management. It's organizing and executing around your priorities, those values you just identified. It's about focusing on what's important, not just what's urgent.
The urgent versus important matrix. Most people get stuck in the urgent stuff, don't they? Crises, deadlines, pointless interruptions.
Right. Quadrant hide, urgent and important. And quadrant third, urgent but not important. But the key to real effectiveness, that lives in quadrant 2. Important but not urgent.
That's the big picture stuff.
Yeah, things like building relationships, long-term planning, exercise, learning, preventing problems before they start, finding new opportunities. Spending time here is the ultimate proactive habit.
Okay, this is starting to connect. Proactive, clear destination, manage your time based on importance, but then there's this other balance we need to strike.
Yes, the PPC balance. This is crucial, especially for high achievers. It's easy to fall into this trap.
PTC, that's the goose and the golden egg story, right?
That's the one. P stands for production, the golden eggs, the results you want. Profits, a clean room, the finished project. PC is production capability, the goose itself, the asset, the resource that produces the results. The machine, the relationship, your own health.
And the danger is focusing only on the P, the golden eggs. Just driving for results now, now, now.
Exactly, because if you do that, run the machine constantly without maintenance, push for short-term profits. By cutting corners, you end up damaging or even destroying the asset, the goose. You kill your long-term capability.
You see this all the time. The manager who burns out their team to hit targets gets promoted, but leaves behind a total mess. A sick goose.
More think about it with family. If you just demand results, clean your room now. But you do it by nagging, criticizing, undermining their sense of responsibility. You're damaging the relationship and their internal motivation. The PC.
Okay. So true effectiveness means getting the golden eggs while taking care of the goose. Balancing the results with nurturing the ability to keep producing those results long term.
Precisely. Whether it's physical assets, financial assets, or crucially, human assets, employees, kids, spouses. Treat them well. Invest in the relationship. Maintain the capability.
Right. So once you've achieved that private victory, you're proactive, you know your end in mind. You manage yourself effectively based on priorities, and you understand the PPC balance. Then you're ready for the public victory stuff, the relationships.
Then you're ready for true interdependence. See, just being independent, thinking for yourself, isn't enough in a world where we have to cooperate. But you need that independence first.
Okay, so what comes next? Habit 4.
Habit 4. Think win-win. This isn't just about, being nice. It's a whole framework for how you interact with people.
Win-win. So finding solutions where everybody benefits.
Right. Agreements or solutions that are mutually beneficial, mutually satisfying. The other options, win-lose, I win, you lose, lose-win, I'm a martyr, you win. Lose, we both drag each other down. They just don't work long-term.
Because they damage the relationship, the
Yeah.
PC.
Exactly. Win-lose creates resentment. Lose-win builds unrealistic expectations and burnout. For sustainable success, you've got to be committed to finding that third alternative where everyone feels good about the outcome.
And how do you find that?
That requires habit 5. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. This is maybe the biggest communication habit. It's about empathic listening.
Which most of us are terrible at. We listen waiting for our turn to talk, right? We filter everything through our own life story, jump in with advice.
We prescribe before we diagnose. Covey's adamant. You have to truly understand the other person first. Listen deeply, not just to the words, but to the feeling, the meaning, their perspective, their paradigm. Until someone feels genuinely understood, they won't be open to your perspective or solutions, no matter how great they are.
Okay, that makes sense. Understand first, habit 5, aim for win-win. Habit 4, what's next?
Then you unlock habit 6, synergize. This is the habit of creative cooperation.
Synergy.
Yeah.
The whole is greater than the sum of its parts.
That's it. It's not compromise, where
Yeah.
1 plus 1 equals maybe 1.5. It's creativity, where 1 plus 1 equals 3 or 10 or 100. It happens when you genuinely value the differences between people.
So instead of seeing different perspectives as a problem.
See them as an opportunity, a
Yeah.
strength. If two people see things differently and they truly respect each other and communicate openly, habit 5, they can create solutions together that neither one could have thought of alone. It's about creating something new.
Amazing. Okay, habits 1 through 6. That feels pretty comprehensive. Is there one more?
There is. Habit 7, sharpen the saw. And this is the one that makes all the others possible, really.
Sharpen the saw, like maintenance.
Exactly like maintenance. It connects right back to that PPC balance. Habit 7 is maintaining the PCU, the asset. It's about balanced self-renewal, so you don't burn out just focusing on production.
So what does that look like?
Covey breaks it into 4 areas.
Mm.
The physical, exercise, nutrition, sleep, stress management. The mental,
Mm.
reading, learning, planning, writing. The spiritual, connecting with your core values, meditation, nature, music. And the social national, building meaningful relationships, service to others.
Taking time to invest in yourself across the board. It sounds
It's
important.
fundamentally important, but it's often the first thing to go when we get busy because it usually falls into quadrant 2. Important, but not urgent.
Right. Easy to put off.
But if you neglect sharpening the saw gets dull, and everything else, all the other habits becomes harder and less effective.
Wow. Okay. So it really is a whole system. The character ethic foundation, shifting your paradigms, getting that private victory through proactivity and purpose and management, then aiming for win-win through understanding and synergy in the public victory, and constantly renewing yourself to keep it all going.
That's the essence of it.
Yeah.
This principle-centered approach, it's what leads to success. It's not just, external, but also internal.
Yeah.
Real effectiveness and lasting happiness.
Absolutely. It's clear true success isn't about shortcuts or just manipulating how things look on the outside. It's this deep inside-out work, building that integrity, that clarity, so you can act with purpose, guided by your values, not just blown around by circumstances.
And maybe here's a final thought to leave people with, building on that. Real interdependence, those truly synergistic relationships, effective teams, strong families, that's a choice that only genuinely independent people can make.
Say more about that.
Well, you have to own yourself first, right?
Yeah.
Your choices, your responses, your values, that's the private victory, being independent. If you haven't established that inner integrity, that self-mastery, you don't really have enough self to give, to truly commit to a win-win interdependent relationship. You need to be strong inside to connect effectively outside.
That's powerful. You need independence before you can achieve effective interdependence. Thank you for joining us for this fantastic book talk on the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Really valuable stuff.
It's always great to revisit these ideas. And if you want to explore more discussions and talks like this, things that can help you make real, lasting changes in your life,
Then be sure to subscribe to Success Happiness. Thanks for tuning in.